Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students, sponsored by the IACAC, the Illinois Association for College Admissions Counseling, and Strive Scan. Just a few things before we get to our presentation. Your camera and microphones are turned off, so we can't hear or see you, but if you'd like to ask questions, please feel free to do so in the Q&A box, and our presenters will answer your questions. And please know that you can go and sign up for more sessions, and that recordings will be available in about a week of all the sessions that we've been doing. So go to www.iacac.org for all of those opportunities. And now I'm going to turn it over to our presenters.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I will share my screen really quick and get the presentation started for you all. So it's great to meet you guys. Just to first introduce myself, my name is Rebecca. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions, and I work with students specifically from the Midwest and North Pacific. I do work with students specifically interested in the Daytona Beach campus, although our presentation today will be about all of Embry-Riddle, so it won't be limited to just one campus. I am with a couple of my counterparts here today, Amy Pham, who works with students interested in going to Prescott from the Washington State area, and Mara Miller, who works with students also from the Midwest and also interested in Prescott as their campus preference. So if you guys have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to drop them in the Q&A. Amy and Mara will be assisting in the chat throughout the presentation, and we'll leave some time at the end as well in case anyone has any questions at the end. But just to get started, just a little bit about our history as Embry-Riddle. So we were founded in 1926 as Embry-Riddle Flight School. So we were founded in Miami, Florida, so actually about an hour from where I grew up. And so in 1965, we did actually move from Miami to Daytona Beach and established our first residential campus as Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. So we did expand much more than just being a flight school. Of course, we do still have our aviation and flight program today, but then became Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And I'll touch upon everything we do offer, all of our programs and unique opportunities as we go through the presentation. But in 1970, we did establish our worldwide campus. So it did start as a few military, few campuses, satellite campuses on some military bases, but is today our worldwide online campus. So for any students that are interested in pursuing a degree completely online, they can do that through our worldwide campus. And then in 1978, we established our second residential campus in Prescott, Arizona. So today we do have the 3 campuses total, 2 of which being in Daytona Beach and Prescott, which are our residential campuses. And next we do have a video showing you each of our degree programs, so you can get a glimpse of all the programs that we now have today as Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And so next, just to get a glimpse of each of our campuses and to talk a little bit more about the geography of each campus. So our first picture on the left, as you can see, is a glimpse of our Daytona Beach campus in Florida. So we are about an hour north of Orlando, right on the east coast of Central Florida. We are about 5 miles from the beach. So if you're someone that likes warm weather year round and likes going to the beach and potentially likes surfing, then we most definitely have that opportunity. It's about a 10-minute drive right from campus to go right to the beach. We are actually literally adjacent to the Daytona Beach International Airport as well. So for our flight students, this is a great opportunity for you to be able to walk right to your flights. All of our students can bring a car starting their first year on campus, but you by no means need a car on campus, even as a flight student. You can definitely get to your flights and your flight training right from the back of our College of Aviation building. In the picture there that you see our student union building on the right. So that houses our bookstore, a lot of our dining options, some student space, and some offices in addition to our library. And then on the left, you can actually see the College of Arts and Sciences building. And the unique feature of that building, actually, the dome you see at the top is the largest collegiate telescope in the Southeast. So that's a great resource for our students, especially if you're potentially interested in our astronomy and astrophysics major. The only other thing I'll mention about Daytona for now is that we are also about an hour from Kennedy Space Center. So obviously that's a great resource for a lot of our students to be able to connect with alumni that maybe work there, but also just great easy access for them to be able to get there for internships or possible professional experience while they're on campus and potentially after graduation as well. Both at Florida and Arizona, we have over 300 flight days a year. So that generally just means for all of our students, relatively good weather year round. But of course, for our flight students, it definitely means that the weather's on your side. You'll be able to get the majority of the days of the year in order to pursue flight training. So you aren't limited by weather. Mara, do you want to touch upon some highlights of the Prescott campus next?
Thank you. So Prescott, Arizona is located in the northern part of our state. It's about an hour and a half drive north of Phoenix. We are high desert, so we're still mountains with a dry climate, but because we're up in the mountains, we don't have quite the heat that they experience down in Phoenix and Tucson. So the weather is actually very nice. Also being in the mountains, we do have pine trees. We have 4 seasons. We even get a little bit of snow, usually several snowfalls in a year. Our campus is smaller than the Daytona Beach campus. We have about 3,000 students on campus. In the picture shown here, you'll see a picture of our planetarium. That's a fairly new building, pretty exciting for students, not only in astronomy and space physics, but actually students in other majors get to do that as well. We have students in our simulation science, games, and animation, I know, as an example, have gone in there to project the games that they're designing onto the ceiling. So that's been a fun resource for our students. On the camp in the area, we have a variety of outdoor activities for students to get involved in. So this is a great place to be if you're interested in mountain biking, rock climbing, hiking. There are places to go skiing nearby. So yeah, if you like outdoor activities, hang gliding is also a popular activity with some of our students. We share a lot of similar degree programs as Daytona Beach. So the flagship majors, the aeronautical science flight and aerospace engineering, you can find at both of our campuses.
Awesome, thank you. So just to elaborate on a brief point that Mara also just mentioned as well. So population on each campus. So we do have about 6,700 students on our Daytona Beach campus, where Prescott has just over 3,000 approximately. So we are very similar in size, but Daytona Beach is a little bit bigger. As you can see, our worldwide campus does have the most number of students enrolled. But I do love to elaborate that for a student interested in our residential campuses, when you are on campus, you really get the best of every world with our, I like to call them small to medium-sized campuses. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on some more numbers and specific opportunities with regards to student life and academics, but you really do get the best of every world in the sense that it's just big enough where you get a vibrant student life. We have over 350 clubs and organizations on campus. And then you also get the benefit of small class sizes. You get to know your professors and have those connections both in the classroom and possibly professionally as well. And further details to come on those specific realms of Embry-Riddle. But next, we do have a quick video showing you some students talking about their experience on each of our residential campuses, just because as great as it could be that I can tell you how awesome Embry-Riddle is as a staff member, it's even better to also hear that from students as well. So first you'll hear from some students at our Arizona campus, sorry about that, and then second from some students over at our Daytona Beach campus.
Because the campus is so small and it's such a tight-knit community, very, very quickly you become at home in Prescott and in Embry-Riddle.
It's a different environment from a really big university. You walk around and most people, you know their names, and even if you don't, you recognize their faces.
Being close to the Grand Canyon and Sedona, it's a great opportunity to get outside of school and do some outdoor stuff.
Embry-Riddle makes it really easy to get involved. I really like hiking and bouldering, so I think that's really fun.
We have some really cool clubs here on campus. There's really something to do for everybody here, and if we don't have it, you can start your own club.
Greek life is probably one of the best decisions I've made. Maybe at the beginning you don't know too many people, but right away you put right into the spirit of Embry-Riddle.
One of the special things we have is a lot of airspace. We have a lot of places to go fly that aren't very busy. We also have mountainous terrain, high altitude operations.
The flight line here at Embry-Riddle is located right at the airport. So the students are basically surrounded by aviation.
In Arizona, we have an incredible amount of wonderful flying weather, over 300 days a year.
This has been the most exciting time of my life. I've become a lot more confident in who I am, and I feel like I know myself a lot better.
Embry-Riddle Prescott is a great place to go to school. Even though it's small, it's very full of life.
It's very nice to be surrounded by people that have a love and an interest for what it is that you're interested in.
We have a strong community. We are all pushing for each other, and we want to see each other succeed.
Daytona Beach is pretty great. I love the beach. Just to have that opportunity to go to school and be able to surf in the same day even, that's pretty cool.
I'm from Sweden, where it's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and I'm in Daytona Beach, where it's sunny basically all year around, and I have 10 minutes to the beach. Could it be any more perfect?
One thing that a lot of people don't know about Embry-Riddle is that it is literally adjacent to the Daytona Beach International Airport. You can actually walk to your flights from the school.
You get to become really good friends with your classmates. There's no large classrooms here, and you really get to develop some strong relationships.
I've met many different people from all walks of life, and it all helped me to grow as a person and as a professional.
It really does feel like a big family to me, and that's another reason why I love it here.
I fell in love with the weather, the fleet, the culture, the people. After visiting down here, my mind was pretty much made up.
And so next, just to touch on why we feel you should choose Embry-Riddle. So we do attribute those reasons both to the tangible experiences and wider worldview that you'd be getting on campus. And even starting with our admissions process, you get very tangible experiences just by applying. So with our application process, I'll go a little bit more into those details towards the end. But a great benefit is that you will, once you apply, will select a specific campus and select a specific major that you're interested in. So by applying to Embry-Riddle, you do get considered for a specific major. And if you're accepted, you are accepted directly into that degree program. So that is a huge benefit because our programs being so hands-on, you do start those programs and those classes right from the beginning. So of course, you know, there are some programs where you take some general education classes as well. but you're very much beginning to be immersed directly into those classes related to your degree program as well. And of course, maximize the time that you are here on campus. So you're able to get professional experience related to your degree program that much sooner, possibly even starting your first summer, and are able to just prepare for graduation that much sooner in advance. And while you are here on campus in the classroom, our average class sizes are also, like I mentioned before, relatively small for a university. So even though Daytona Beach is about twice the size as Prescott with student population, our average class sizes are both under 30 students at both campuses. With Daytona Beach, our average class size being about 27 students, and at Prescott, our average class size being about 24 students. You also will only ever be taught by professors on campus. You'll never be taught by a graduate assistant or teaching assistant. So luckily you will be taught on campus by professors that have experiences themselves in the field that they're teaching. And our students are definitely strongly encouraged to get internship experience, to get job experience or research co-op experience while they're also here at Embry-Riddle as well. We actually have a career expo once a semester with about 100 or more employers present in order to connect with students in order to either be a connection for them in the future or help them with opportunities that they have to help get that hands-on experience outside of the classroom as well. A lot of our alumni, like I mentioned, do end up coming back to the Career Expo and connecting with students with, obviously students that went through very similar, situations as them and experienced Embry-Riddle just like they did. And luckily with that preparation, while they are at Embry-Riddle, they most definitely go on to get jobs and are prepared to get a job or go to grad school once they graduate. And 94% of our students end up within a year of graduation, getting a job directly related to their degree program or going to grad school. That number does show that for the students that do get jobs, their jobs are related to their degree program. So our degrees themselves are very career focused. And keep in mind, some of that 6% of students that keep us shy of 100 may very well be getting jobs as well, just not necessarily directly related to their degree program. And of course, we are not all academics all the time necessarily. Of course, even though that's the #1 priority, we do still have 350 plus clubs and organizations ranging from athletics, some academic honor societies, religious organizations, Greek life, and other opportunities as well that I'll talk about in a few slides. But next, we do have a couple of brief videos showing you some examples of some student projects. So this first video is a general overview of some of the student projects and opportunities that you can take advantage of on campus. And then the second is an example of some students' senior capstone projects, so you can hear from them about their research. And then next, like I mentioned, this video will give you the student perspective of their research that they conducted as Embry-Riddle students.
Our senior capstone project is a liquid rocket engine named Janus, and its accompanying testing facility named Test Cell 3.
And the purpose of that is to basically establish a liquid rocket test facility here at Embry-Riddle and make an engine worthy of flying.
We've been working towards this for the last 4 years, doing rocket projects, helping with other things, and seeing it finally culminate with a hot fire in under 2 semesters was absolutely incredible.
Well, this is quite possibly the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life, and I've worked at NASA.
So next, just to elaborate on another opportunity I briefly mentioned that you can definitely take advantage of at Embry-Riddle is athletics. So we do have Division II athletics at both of our residential campuses. Daytona Beach is NCAA Division II with 9 men's sports and 11 women's sports. A few of those being soccer, basketball, baseball, cross country, track and field, rowing, volleyball, and some others as well. Prescott is NAIA Division II with 5 men's sports and 6 women's sports. Some of those sports are similar. They do also have a baseball team. They also do have soccer, basketball, wrestling, and some other sports as well. So if you were interested in playing a Division II sport, you can definitely let us know, and we can make sure to connect you in the right place to pursue and ask any questions that you may have. And then to elaborate a little bit on the wider world view that you'd be getting by attending Embry-Riddle. So we do have a lot of students that quite literally get a wider world view from up above and all around because they spend a good amount of time in a plane in their degree program. But for all of our students, regardless of if you're a flight student or spending time on the ground for your degree program, you will most definitely still get a wider world view. And that just is based on a lot of the representation we have on campus. So we do have representation on our campuses from all 50 states in the United States and over 100 countries. So we do have a really strong representation from international students on campus, but also from everywhere in the United States. You're not just going to be one of just a couple of students from your area on each campus. I know at least for me, for this last fall semester, I had over 100 students coming into the fall 2020 semester just from the Midwest and North Pacific. So luckily, you do have a piece of home when you come to campus and have things to relate to with other students, but also are able to meet with, hundreds and thousands of other students coming from areas from all over the world, and are able to learn something from them and their backgrounds just as much as they may be learning from you as well. And then we do have a few other opportunities to also enhance your worldview as well. One of those being study abroad, as you can see. We do have a few different types of programs. We have faculty-led programs where you can go with a group of Embry-Riddle students and an Embry-Riddle professor, but also exchange programs as well, where you can actually go as a single student to a specific country. Either way would allow you to actually take classes in a different country if you wanted to actually immerse yourself in a different culture, but also get college credit towards your degree. We do also have ROTC programs on campus. Daytona Beach does have all 4 branches of ROTC, and Prescott does have both Air Force and Army. So if you wanted to get involved in ROTC, there are some scholarship opportunities as well, depending on the branch you're interested in. So make sure to connect with us if you were interested in ROTC, and I can make sure to get you in contact with them. If you had any questions specifically about applying to scholarships or being a part of ROTC, then they can help you answer those questions. Typically, just keep in mind those scholarships do close about December of your senior year. So just keep in mind, to keep that in mind for the application process. And then we do have Greek life as well. I love elaborating on the culture of Greek life on our campus because it definitely breaks the negative stereotype that it typically gets on college campuses. It very much is just another opportunity for you to be able to get involved on campus. Obviously, it is a great way to meet people, make connections with alumni that are also a part of the organization. They do also do a lot of philanthropy and community service, but luckily it's not something that's pressured upon our students to feel like they have to join in order to fit in. We have over 300 other organizations on campus that students can join. Like Mara mentioned, we have hang gliding at Prescott. We have an ice hockey club sport at Daytona, ironically enough, as one of our most popular club sports. Obviously, it's indoors, but we have skydiving clubs at both campuses, which tend to be popular as well. So we have a lot of variety, and luckily the benefit of having a smaller campus is if there's a club on campus that doesn't exist that you want to start, you most definitely can make that impact and start your own club on campus as well. And then, of course, to expand a little bit more on academics, so we do have 5 different colleges under the umbrella of Embry-Riddle. The 3 colleges are shared between both of our residential campuses. So the College of Arts and Sciences, College of Aviation, and College of Engineering are at both Daytona Beach and Prescott. The College of Business is technically at Daytona Beach, but Prescott does have a School of Business. A lot of people don't correlate Embry-Riddle with having business programs, but we do actually have a really unique business program being Aviation Business Administration. So if you're someone that knows you want to go into aviation, but not necessarily become a pilot, of course, we have all of our degree programs within our College of Aviation, not just flight. but aviation business administration could be a great opportunity as well. It does have that business focus, so it allows you to get all the advantages of a business degree. But if you know you want to go into more airport management or becoming an executive at an aviation type of career, then you can most definitely do the aviation business administration degree and set yourself apart from other students that may just have a general business administration degree to have that aviation focus. And then the College of Security and Intelligence is specifically at Prescott as well. Mara, do you want to talk a little bit about the College of Security and Intelligence being at Prescott?
Sure. So the College of Security and Intelligence is pretty popular. An area of study that a lot of people don't really associate with Embry-Riddle, but it is in fact. Global Security and Intelligence Studies is the third largest major on our campus, and that attracts students who are interested in, usually they are interested in doing either FBI, CIA work, or three-letter agency, but there are certainly applications in other areas such as industry applications. There are students who will use it as a pre-law degree and so forth. The thrust of the degree really is intelligence gathering as well as analysis. They also look at topics such as profiling and terrorism, counterterrorism. Also within the college, we have cyber intelligence and security. So looking at security from the standpoint of data and network security, which is very relevant and an area that is in extremely high demand right now.
Awesome, thank you. And in a second, I'll see if you maybe want to talk a little bit about the programs on this slide here that are specifically offered at Prescott. If you wanted to elaborate a little bit more on forensic biology and forensic psychology, but to elaborate a little bit on all of these programs. So these are, of course, just a handful of all of the programs that we offer, but just to give a sense of everything and the variety of programs that we do have at Embry-Riddle. So the first major you see up there is aeronautical science. This is our flight program. So if you are interested in becoming a commercial pilot, you'll want to major in aeronautical science. Keep in mind, Prescott does have a couple of tracks within other majors, and Mara, you can talk about this as well if you'd like, that you can actually have a flight track, but of course you can always choose to major in aeronautical science itself and get the bachelor's and get the licenses to become a commercial pilot. It is offered at both Daytona Beach and Prescott. If you are interested in the Daytona Beach campus, just keep in mind that if you are interested in flight, you will need to apply to aeronautical science. The second major on there is aerospace engineering. So for the past 20 years, we actually have been ranked the top program in aerospace engineering by US News and World Report. So we are very happy with the fact that we haven't just gotten it once or twice. We have consistently gotten it over the past numerous years. So it's a very hands-on program. And for anyone who wants to become an engineer and design rockets or work with propulsion, then aerospace engineering could be a great program for you. And some career outcomes, of course, you can work for companies like NASA or SpaceX. Astronomy and astrophysics is specifically offered at Daytona Beach. And of course, like I mentioned at the beginning, then you can take advantage of the resource being the largest collegiate telescope in the Southeast in our College of Arts and Sciences building. So that's definitely a resource on our campus that those students can take advantage of. I'll let Mara in a second talk about forensic biology and forensic psychology because those are specifically offered at Prescott. Logistics and supply chain management is offered through our worldwide campus. Obviously has become very relevant and important in the day and age of COVID, as things like toilet paper aren't so easy to find as often as it used to be. But of course, like I mentioned, we do have business programs offered at our residential campuses as well. We do also have a general business administration major. So if you know you want to go into business administration, but don't want that aviation focus necessarily, we do have a general business administration major as well. And then the last major listed on there is aerospace physiology. So it's actually a really unique program offered specifically at our Daytona Beach campus. It is a pre-med track. So a lot of people also don't associate Embry-Riddle with having a pre-med track, but it essentially studies how the human body reacts in aerospace environments, in extreme environments such as space. And it's actually the first and only program in the nation. So you will definitely stand out amongst your competition with a major in aerospace physiology if this is something that interests you. But Mara, do you want to talk a little bit about forensic biology and forensic psychology?
Sure. So forensic biology is largely for students who are interested in doing the crime scene investigation type of work. So if you're interested in doing things like DNA analysis, blood splatter analysis, things like that, that is what the forensic biology students are able to do. This is also a pre-med degree, so you would meet all of the requirements for applying to medical school after completing this program. In addition, we have a number of psychology majors available. Forensic psychology is a psychology degree that is specifically applied to the legal system or the court system. So if you are interested in psychology with an application in that field, that would be an area you can go to. We also have a human factors psychology degree where that looks more at ergonomics. And then we have an industrial organizational psychology degree where you would learn how to apply the concepts in the workplace. And a really unique feature about all of these programs that I like to point out is that you are career ready, which is not always the case with a bachelor's degree in psychology, but Embry-Riddle has a really strong career focus. So you are career ready with a bachelor's degree in one of these areas.
Awesome, thank you. And Daytona Beach also does have human factor psychology. So if you're unsure of your campus preference and are interested in psychology, you luckily do have options either way. And then this last video, whoops, is just summing up really quickly who we are at Embry-Riddle. And this is the last video, and then I'll go more into the application process.
Blazing trails in technology, aviation, business, and cybersecurity. A future defined by innovation, finding solutions for industry partners as the world's premier aerospace institution. Our continuing success speaks for itself. We've earned top distinctions across our campuses and worldwide. We're training the workforce of tomorrow, adding value to the industries we serve, and expanding our growing global reach. We promote problem-based discovery in career-focused programs. We are the leading edge, a global education leader opening up opportunities for students. Our history and heritage spans nearly 100 years, founded with a vision of endless possibilities to launch new generations of pioneers and dreamers, putting the future firmly into focus for us and for you. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. What will you explore with us?
And so this last section, like I mentioned earlier, we'll just go into a little bit about our application process. So how to actually become an Eagle and start your future with us. So if you are a senior currently, our fall 2021 application is now open. So I encourage you to go to our online application, erau.edu/apply, to fill that out as your first step. If you're not currently a senior, our application does typically open for your respective start term about July before your senior year. So keep an eye out for that to open if you're not quite yet a senior. We are not on the Common App, so you will want to actually fill out an application directly through our website. And you can use a fee waiver code DBPC to waive the fee waiver code. If you happen to lose the fee waiver code after today, feel free to just let us know. We'd be more than happy to help and just remind us you were in this presentation. But you won't need to pay that $50 application fee for sitting through this presentation. After you submit your online application, you'll want to send us official high school transcripts. So just make sure that after you complete your application, you don't wait until you graduate from high school. Make sure you do send us those transcripts up to after you submit your application in order for us to be able to use them to review it for a decision. Depending on the campus you apply to may depend on where exactly you send it in the mail, email, or electronic service like Naviance or Parchment, but we are a resource for you to be able to get you those details up to the point of you applying. And then optional documents. We are SAT or ACT test score optional. So keep in mind, if you do answer yes on the application to submitting test scores, we will be waiting on both your transcripts and test scores to complete your application. Keep in mind that we will need both of those official documents in order to review your application from there. But we do also have 2 letters of recommendation, essay, and resume as optional items as well. 2 letters of recommendation are great to get the perspective from someone else that you have as a professional connection, whether it's a coach or a teacher, a high school counselor, or maybe a boss at work that can talk about all the positive things that you have to offer as a student outside of what may be shown on your high school transcripts or test scores. And then if you wanted to elaborate a little bit further on your involvement and how Embry-Riddle can prepare you for your career, you can most definitely submit an essay and resume as well, but they are very much optional. And then to fund your education. So after you've submitted your application, upon acceptance at the university, you do have a plethora of different ways to build your financial aid profile as well. So the FAFSA did open on October 1st for any seniors in order to get considered for need-based aid from the federal government. It does open October 1st of every year. So if you're not a senior currently, just keep that on your radar to fill out during your senior year for the following academic year. You will fill a FAFSA each year that you plan on going to a university or an institution for the following year. So definitely might make sure to mark Embry-Riddle as a school to send that information to. I always encourage my students to fill it out just because you never know what you'll get offered until you actually fill it out. Even if you don't think you'll get anything, you never know. And upon acceptance, the university will automatically be considered for merit-based scholarships as well, whether you submit test scores or not. So if you feel as though you have test scores and they reflect who you are as a student, you can most definitely choose to send them, but you will be considered for merit-based scholarships upon acceptance, whether you submit test scores or not. There are some internal scholarships as well that we have within the university, and some of which are also automatically considered as well. So if you visit campus, for example, we do have a travel grant that is awarded towards your first semester. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have ROTC scholarships that are offered depending on the branch you're interested in. So let us know if you were interested in a specific branch at a specific campus. We can make sure to connect you with that specific point of contact in order to help you get any answers you have about applying to ROTC scholarships. Just keep in mind that there, of course, there is a commitment to being a part of ROTC on campus, but then also to serve afterwards as well. And then we do have a lot of special interest scholarships highlighted on our website. So keep in mind, if you were interested in a specific campus, we do have some scholarships posted on both our Daytona Beach and Prescott financial aid sites. So be sure to check those out and to see if you're eligible to apply to any of those. And then if you get any other external scholarships outside of Embry-Riddle or outside of another organization or opportunity that I just mentioned, then you can most definitely still send those scholarships to us, and we'll stack those on top of any other financial aid that you are offered. And then last slide really with information is that we are doing more formal webinars as well through the middle of November. So if you wanted more Embry-Riddle and you wanted to just hear some more stories and hear from actual current students as well, you most definitely can scan that QR code in order to register. Keep in mind that these times are listed as Eastern Standard Time, so the times may look a little bit different in your respective time zone. But you can always also feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Lastly, we do like to say that it's always a great day to be an Eagle. So if you can't tell, our mascot are the Eagles, and hopefully your future can start here with us. And here's just some general contact information. So if you were interested in a specific campus, you can always feel free to reach out to that respective campus you're interested in. And we'll always be happy to answer your questions, regardless of if you're a senior or not quite yet a senior. But I will open the floor now, being that that was the end of my presentation, to see if anyone has any questions. You can drop them in the chat and we will answer them live. So feel free to ask away and ask as many questions as you have. But if not, we will look forward to hopefully seeing that you apply to Embry-Riddle and look forward to hopefully working with you in the future. So I'll just stand by for a few minutes to see if anyone else has any questions.
Did you see any more questions, Rebecca?
I don't see any questions, so if you want to wrap up, then that's completely fine. And you know, obviously our students you can always feel free to reach out to us individually and we'll help you from there.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you guys so much for your presentation, and thank you, audience, for joining us for the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Exploration. When we end this session, you will get a very quick 4-question survey, and please feel free to check out our schedule of more sessions, and all of the sessions are recorded. This particular one will be available in about 1 week, so check out www.iacac.org. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.